let me simply make this observation. The first time that I stood here on a Friday, the first of these debates that I participated in last year, happened to be on a measure about the legal age at which you were allowed to take Botox as a treatment.
Once you listen to this speech by Dan Hannan in the House of Lords back from 2022, you will realise that there is absolutely no logic whatsoever to Labour's plans to give 16 and 17-year-olds the vote. The only reason they are doing it is simply to get more votes.
And unlike today, when I'm, as usual on a Friday, in a minority of one or two, there was actually an extraordinary consensus on all sides. I think every single speaker argued that it was right to raise the age of consent for Botox from 16 to 18. And that was the message that came from the crossbenchers, from the Liberal Democrats, from Labour, and from the Conservatives. And we heard all sorts of arguments, including one or two from peers who are present today, about how this was consistent, because we treated 18 as the age of consent in almost every other regard. And peer after peer stood up to explain that 18 was the age at which you could get a mortgage, or buy a bottle of wine, or get a tattoo, or buy a knife. And one after another, people said, yes, absolutely right, there's such a thing as an age of maturity, and if we've decided that 18 is that age, then we must end these loopholes on things like Botox, tattoos, and so on. Well, okay, fine. If that's as a country, if that's what we decide is the age of maturity, are we seriously going to argue that 16 and 17-year-olds should be prohibited from doing all of those things, but should have the right to vote on whether everyone else is allowed to do those things? Are you seriously confident that that will be seen as a purely disinterested measure without any partisan calculation behind it?
There is definitely a partisan calculation behind Labour's new plans, that's for sure.
My lords, I suggest that one way to encourage turnout and to tackle the cynicism of some of our voters is visibly to stop playing partisan games with the franchise.
Brilliant speech from Dan Hannan there. Now, that is back from 2022, but it could not be more relevant to play to you now after we've just found out that Labour are going to push ahead with bringing in the right to vote for 16 and 17-year-olds. This is what Dan Hannan tweeted today, resharing that video. He said, Labour backed raising the age of consent from 16 to 18 for getting a tattoo, buying alcohol, watching porn, opening a bank account, purchasing cigarettes, using a sunbed, or being tried as an adult. Now they tell us they are acting from principle. Yeah, when you just read out that list, and that's a shortened list, there are so many other things that you are not allowed to do at 16 that you are allowed to do at 18 that are not there. Very clearly, politicians have decided that the age of maturity is 18, except when it comes to voting. Tell me that is not because it suits Labour for the supposed age of maturity when it comes to voting to miraculously be 16 even though it's 18 for everything else. We know exactly what Labour are up to. We had Keir Starmer do a media round yesterday and tell us why he thinks 16-year-olds need the vote, and he says, oh well, you can get a job at 16 and if you're paying taxes, if you're working and you're paying taxes, you should be able to say where your money is spent. I'm sorry. How many 16-year-olds are paying tax? They are all net benefiters from the state in education, with taxpayers paying for them to be in education. You have to be in education until the age of 18. Yes, you can leave school at 16 and go for an apprenticeship where you maybe have to go into college one day a week. Yes, you can have some sort of side job at the local cafe, right? But how many of those people are earning above the income tax free threshold? I bet it is close to nil. We are being gaslit by Labour, who are they're trying to gaslight us, telling us that this is all just about democracy. It's not about benefiting them. We are not stupid. They've thought that we're stupid for a very long time, but we simply are not. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you very much for watching this video. And if you enjoyed this video and want to see more videos like this, make sure you press the subscribe button down below and press the notification bell as well so you don't miss out on anything.